especially Gorky's. Like was there just a desire to get a right-handed bat for the outfield, especially?
Yes. I don't know if it's small sample size or whatever. He actually had a good season against lefties. So it's a guy that has done it before. He's a good defender. He can run, bring some energy. So that was the reason we decided to call him up.
Have you stayed in touch with him throughout the year? Because that's he was in, that's a tough thing to spend the entire year on a minor league deal down there in some ways.
I mean, I stay in touch with Billy and Krabby and the guys down there and see how he was doing. Just staying, in tune with what he was doing, especially against lefties. That's something that for X or Y reason, we haven't been able to get going against lefties. There's a reason, but that's not an excuse. We have to step up. And last year we went through that patch in between Hanley and Piercy, and we didn't hit lefties. This year it's been on and off. And we just feel like we're gonna face one today. Obviously next week, and probably we'll face 2 or 3, and it gives us option to manage the game. As everybody knows, this September is going to be different as far as like pitch usage. Be ready for 4 hours. Well, we usually play those games anyways, but it seems like the teams that we have in the schedule, they're going to load up their rosters with pitchers, and it's going to be a matchup game from the get-go. So we'll join the party.
What kind of role do you see for Shoshin?
He'll come out of the bullpen right now. Obviously, there's going to be a few days that it's going to be a bullpen day, and we'll see the matchups. And if we feel that he'll start, and can give us three innings, we'll start with him. But as of now, obviously today he's in the bullpen.
He hasn't pitched in a while. Is it going to take a few days for him to kind of be ready, or is he ready now?
He's been throwing, but of course, it's gonna take a while. But he threw well the other day. We feel comfortable with a few things that he did last year that he wasn't doing this year, and hopefully we can get him to that place and be as good as he was last year.
You guys have suffered a number of losses where you entered the game, the eighth inning. Do you have any, is there any common thread to, are you able to explain what the difficulty has been in kind of finishing those games that you've had?
Honestly, I don't have an explanation. It just, yesterday we didn't execute pitches, and it happens. Sometimes it's defense. I don't know. I wish I could have an answer, but you roll with the guys that you have, and they're doing their best. It just happened that, certain days it's not happening for us.
How tough are those losses when it's a game where you have it,
They're all tough, they're all tough, especially kind of like the bullpen days that it seems like we've been in every game, bullpen-wise, they score 3, it's a 3-1 game, you go to your guys, and all of a sudden you lose it, and then for the next day you're going to be suffering because you're going to be short-handed. Those are tough because you go all in as far as the usage of the bullpen, and then it doesn't happen, and it's tough to manage the next game. You guys can talk about yesterday. I can talk about the day before that put us in a situation where we were yesterday. It's been like that the whole season, but hey, it is what it is, and now we got X amount of games to gain X amount of games and make it to the playoffs.
Because of what had happened on Friday, I was curious. You had said yesterday that Rick and Eddie weren't going to be considerations unless it was another one like that. Although a couple weeks ago you had talked about maybe getting back to a little bit of rover action. Mm-hmm. Why weren't those guys kind of considerations? Yesterday.
You can take advantage of X amount of off days, but they still have to roll the next 10 days against the Twins and the Yankees and whoever we play next, Toronto. So It's not as easy as people think it is. What we did in October last year, that was out of the norm. Like I told you guys 2 days ago, you look back at the World Series champs or runner-ups, what we did It was never done before. David Price was ready to pitch every day. Rick Porcello was ready to pitch every day. Nate Eovaldi was ready to pitch every day. Now, over 162 games, there's certain days that you can do that, but the schedule will let you know when. And it's not that easy. And there's stuff that we know that we don't have to tell people about it, that, hey, we got to take care of these guys. It's all in, but you got to be careful. There's no November coming up. We got September and October, so we got to be careful with that.
Do you feel like the pitchers are kind of feeling the effects of how you guys did things in October? Just
I don't think so. I just think that like people are talking about how aggressive or not aggressive you can be. Hey man, they use some bullets that they never used before. Last year we had the luxury of taper down and prepare them for that. People didn't notice it, but we did it. 4 inning stints, 5 inning stints of 70 pitches, and you prepare them for October, and they knew that was coming. They knew it, and for them to accomplish that, hey man, they got their ring. Whoever talks about a program or whatever, they got their ring, and they did it in a very aggressive fashion. And now, hey, you got to be careful. Our guys are, they've been through the grind for 10 years. Most of them. It just happened that they struggled early on. Nate's injury, that's bone chips. That's not about being a rover or the way we use him. Chris's, we'll see. David, assist. That's not about being available to pitch every game in the playoffs. It just happens, So I just feel that they just struggle. They struggle throughout early in the season, and we threw well for a little bit, and then we got hurt. So we just got to find a way now.
You wake up this morning, see the calendar page,
and then I look at the 2011 Cardinals, and I thought about Joey in 1995, and Jacine mentioned something 2 days ago about the Brewers last year, and hey, we'll take our chances. We're very talented. And then you think about winning 17 out of 19 last year, early in the season.
September 1st is not insignificant, right?
No, yeah, it is. I've been saying it all along. Even last year, you get to September 1st and you look up and you're like, okay, we're 5 games back, 6 games back, or whatever it is, and we got X amount of games. We got 4 against Tampa that we have to make it count, and we don't have control of the Indians or the A's. And that's the tough part of it, but it's not impossible. It happened before, and we're very talented. We just got to finish this road trip in the right way, and then the topic is going to be the Twins and the Yankees are going to Fenway. We know it. We know how it works, but we're ready. I think we're prepared. There's a lot of guys that they're going to have different roles throughout this September, and they have to step up. Pitchers especially. Get 3 outs in high-level situations because you're the right man for the matchup. Regardless if you throw 98 or you throw 87, 88. We'll map it out, and as long as our offense keeps rolling, we have a chance.
You're a pretty introspective guy. You have played for a defending champion. You've never had to lead a defending champion before. What have you learned in the past 5 months about leading a defending champion?
There's challenges. That's every season. I laugh when people say it was a magic carpet ride last year, and there's no Aladdin here. There was no magic dust. It was a good team that played good baseball, and they had challenges, and they show up every day. And we're very consistent at being consistent. This year, the topic is being consistent at being inconsistent. And we have our stretches that we show flashes, and then we have our stretches that we show that we need to get better, and we've been talking about it the whole time. You look back at August, the first 8 days were awful, and then you look at this week and we've been good. It's just one of those, but we still have time to recover. I do believe that we can put that streak. Well, we're playing good baseball for 2 weeks now, since Cleveland, so it's just a matter of that. But going back to the question, I learn every day. I learned last year every day, all the way to October 28th, and I'm learning each day this year, and it's a different season, but it's the same principles. People think that I'm going to change because of that. You know, I believe in what I believe. I'm pretty confident about how do things, and I have conviction. You know, if not, I'll be home changing diapers, the kids, and taking care of my daughter in Puerto Rico. So
I always felt like one of the best things you do is being you.
that's the most
Has any
important.
part of this season pulled you out of, like, have you looked
I mean,
back after a couple days and thought,
2 days,
whoa, whoa,
or
whoa.
I mean, over 100. How many players? We got 140. I mean, I'm human, you know, and there's a few days that, you know, the kids go to sleep and I sit down on the couch and I'm like, damn, that didn't work, you know. But last year I did it too. So what's the difference, you know? The difference is like last year we were 50 games over 500, and this year we're 10 games over 500.
That doesn't change you.
No, not at all, not at all. I've been telling people 5 years, 6 years ago, for some reason my life changed. I always said that, you know, my family have created so much balance in my life that I know how big this is, you know, being the Red Sox manager, but at the same time, there's bigger things in life, you know. 2 days ago, 3 days ago, come on. It wasn't easy to come here and think about, okay, here we go again. But then today, I got people in Florida too, you know, and that thing is humongous. You know, and my mind is here, but it's over there, and hopefully everybody's okay. I never seen anything like that. I thought Maria was huge, but this thing is kind of like perfect. You know, you see the pictures and you're like, wow, you know, and hopefully nothing happens, you know, but that's I mean, you put the news yesterday and saw what happened in Midland and Odessa and here, you know, for 9 innings or 15 innings, I'm going to sleep well regardless of the result, because I know there's bigger things than baseball. And I said it last year, I said it again, you know, and it's just something that I learned over 13 years. I told the guys, you know, for me it was a grind playing 13 years in the big league. That thing of not hitting and playing in the big leagues, it was tough. You know, how are you gonna hit? You know, and it sucked. And it was a tough, you know, 13 years. I enjoyed it, but at the same time it was tough. But now, yeah, nah, I'm gonna enjoy this. This is fun. This is fun. I tell them, you know, like when I hear Mookie and JD saying about their struggles and their grind, I'm like, try to grind 237 through a 13-year career. That's grinding. Yeah, 287 and 120 runs. Come on, bro. You're that good. If that's a bad season, go to 2000 when I hit 200. That's tough right there. So that's why.